guys, it's Sami, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it is Monday, the 20th of February, 2023, and we are here to talk about Monday Night Raw. The one thing I'm going to say about Raw that what's the word I'm looking for? Appreciate that WWE and Triple H, more specifically, I guess, has been doing more of is announcing things for the next week's show. And tonight we got 5 things announced for next week's Monday Night Raw. So that's always good to see when they tell you, hey, come back next week so you can see this, and this. Other than that, I enjoyed tonight's Raw, but it just felt like a show. They had a couple things that built up big moments, like we're going to get a tag title match next week with the women. We're going to get possibly Brock Lesnar and Omos at WrestleMania, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. And so it's like, okay, so they built up a couple things, but a lot of the show just felt like, oh, we're not building towards anything right now, which is kind of weird. But we got Luke here with us as well on this side. Luke, what did you think of tonight's Raw?
I felt like it was a very like up down type of Raw. Like
I see that.
Some things that were good, some things that were like kind of like out of nowhere that really didn't make a lot of sense. But I thought it was a productive Raw. Like they set up a lot of things for next week and like help like hype things up for Mania.
Right.
So like I thought it was very productive, but yeah, other than that, it was just like a very kind of like up and down type of Raw.
Exactly. And I see in the Twitch chat, Wayne Montgomery says, what happened to the YouTube stream? We're live on YouTube right now, bud. I don't know what you're talking about, but we are live with over 30 viewers right now on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, then thank you. Or if you're watching on Twitch, thank you as well, because you can watch on both live, whether that's youtube.com/PWU Unlimited or twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited. Also, remember that you can support us over on Twitch a couple of different ways. You can either hit that donate button down below or donate Twitch bits in the live chat. You can also subscribe to the channel one of 2 different ways, either with a tiered subscription or with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here for Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, if you're watching on YouTube, you can help us out over there by becoming a channel member. As a channel member, you get early access news, early access podcast episodes, early access non-news videos, and so much more. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming one of the free games or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, Fall Guys, or Rumbleverse, use our code right down here, PW Unlimited at checkout for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. I know I said Rumbleverse. I got to get out of that habit because that game is going away like next week. So again, use code PWU NLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. So, Monday Night Raw. And the one thing that I want to address is the reports that came out this afternoon that Trish Stratus was supposed to be on the show. Those reports did come from Fightful. And apparently, plans changed according to Fightful. So, we're going to read, because I had people ask me, and we posted a graphic saying, hey, it's being reported that Trish is going to be on the show tonight. And then it didn't happen, and people were like, oh, fake news, fake news. So, I want to just hit that before anything, and then we'll get going. But originally, Fightful did report Trish Stratus is set to appear on Ding Dong Hello internally. They then had an update to this when Trish didn't show up, stating, a major segment involving a huge return was supposed to go down on the February 20 edition of WWE Raw, but it didn't. Trish Stratus was set to return during the Ding Dong Hello segment with Bayley, but it didn't end up happening. Instead, Lita and Becky Lynch showed up and made a challenge for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Details are few and far, but it was confirmed to us that Trish Stratus was the original plan. In fact, Trish Stratus physically was at the show in Ottawa, but left before the segment happened. When we asked what ended up happening, we were simply told a, quote, creative change, which we'll dig more about. So I don't know exactly what happened, but something changed, and they told Trish, we don't need you. And Trish said, deuces, I'm bouncing. So that's what happened with the Trish Stratus stuff. I don't know why they wouldn't have her on there, unless they wanted her to come out with Becky and Lita when they made the challenge. And instead, they're going to maybe save her as a surprise for next week. So maybe, and this is just me fantasy booking now, they do the tag title match. Bayley tries to get involved. Trish comes out to even the odds. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know if that's what they're going to do, but it's very odd that they did report Trish was going to be there and Trish wasn't there.
Yeah, that is kind of odd. I mean, my guess would be probably they just wait till next week.
Right.
I mean, what they could do is maybe they wait till next week and they just set up a big 6-woman tag like down the road.
Well, that was what they originally had planned for Elimination Chamber, but I guess Dakota wasn't cleared or something is what I heard. I'm not even 100% sure on that one. As far as tonight's show does go, it opened up with a long recap of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, mainly just the main event and the aftermath that ensued. Sami Zayn then came out and opened up the show. The crowd sang a song and gave him a great ovation for the first few minutes of the broadcast. Zayn could only say wow to the reaction, and they kept going. Zayn said that the one feeling that's been most prevalent the past few days was gratitude, and the fans had no idea how much their reaction really means to him. The crowd chanted, "You deserve it," and Sami soaked it all in. Sami came so close to putting a bow on the storybook ending in front of his friends and family, but he felt a lot of guilt, like he had let a lot of people down. The crowd seemed genuinely upset to hear that, but then tried to cheer him up with more Sami chants. Zayn let them know that the story wasn't over, but we are entering the final chapter. Final chapter wasn't just about him, though. It was also about Kevin Owens. And he called Kevin Owens out, and Kevin Owens would enter. Zayn wanted to say thank you and sorry, but he knew that they were beyond the point of words. He knew how much they put Owens through, but he also knew how much Owens wanted to take down the bloodline. Zayn would stop at nothing to make sure that Roman Reigns and the bloodline came crumbling down. He said he couldn't do it alone. He needed Kevin's help. He said that there was one way that they can get it done, and that is together, as the crowd starts chanting, yes, yes, yes. Owens then grabbed a mic and said, I didn't want an apology or your gratitude. I didn't attack the bloodline on Saturday to help you. He said he did it for himself and his family. Owens' family was in the front row, but they weren't there for the Royal Rumble when the bloodline beat the hell out of him while Sami just stood and watched. Owens also did it for Zayn's family, so they didn't have to watch what his family had to watch at home during the Royal Rumble. Owens says that he's been fighting the bloodline alone for months and would continue to do it alone. Owens said if Zayn wanted help against the bloodline, he should go ask his old buddy Jay. Owens walked off and the crowd booed. So I like the Jay line. I really do. And I mean, if plans don't change, eventually Kevin's going to have to change his feeling when they reportedly challenge for the tag titles on Mania. But what'd you think?
I mean, like in this case, like, yeah, like Kevin Owens has every right to be upset at Sami because, like, and it's like, oh, now you want my help to, like, fight off the bloodline. So, I mean, if I had to predict, I would say maybe they'll probably wait till, like, the Monday before Mania to officially say, like, all right, let's fight the Usos for the tag titles.
Yeah,
that'd be my guess.
I'd drag this one out as well. Sami keeps asking, and Kevin's like, stop asking, stop asking. But what is that one moment that changes Kevin's mind, though?
Maybe like the Usos and Solo are beating up on Kevin, and then Sami comes out to fight him off.
That would make a lot of sense. So After all of this, the announcers ran down the card for tonight. Zayn saluted the crowd one last time, and then he was attacked by Baron Corbin, and then cut straight to commercial break. And I'm like, what the hell? Apparently, there was a picture-in-picture here. I didn't see it because I used the USA Network website and app. So apparently there was a picture-in-picture here. I didn't see any of that. So after a commercial break, Corbin was cutting a promo on Sami as officials were helping him to his feet. Corbin said that he called it when he said Reigns would embarrass Zayn in front of all of his friends and family. He basically said that I'm the only one that has beaten Roman Reigns in the last couple of years, hence the last person to pin Roman Reigns. Sami Zayn looking very mad, the officials trying to hold him back. Corbin called Zayn a failure whose story was over after he let down all of Canada. The officials let Sami go. Adam Pearce looks at him and he's like, you want him? Go get him. Sami runs down, attacks Corbin. He decks him right in the face, and the match is official. It goes 9 minutes. But this is an interesting way to set up a match. It's different for sure. So I do got to give him kudos for setting this match up in a different way and not just like, oh, Corbin walked out and said, I'm better than you, and then they fought. No, he attacked them, talked crap, but then they did the whole commercial thing with the officials saying, Sami, don't do it, leave him alone. I liked the way they actually did this. What did you think?
Yeah, I liked it too. I liked it how Adam Pearce didn't try to stop him or anything. I honestly liked how he was like, all right, he attacked you. You gonna go fight him?
Right.
We'll do a match right now. It's your move.
Yeah, because at first it almost felt like they didn't want Sami to do anything. But then when Corbin wouldn't shut his mouth, he's like, oh, yeah, never mind. Just go get him. As far as the match itself, Corbin worked over Zayn, bruised back throughout a commercial break. Zayn came back with a tornado DDT for 2, which followed up with a flip dive. Zayn went for a haluva kick, but Corbin turned him inside out with a clothesline and then hit a deep 6 for a near fall. Corbin charged at Zayn in the corner, and Zayn came right back with the haluva kick and hit him with it for the pin. So there we go. Sami Zayn does pick up the victory over Baron Corbin. Not much really to the match, though.
Nah, this kind of sucks for Corbin, though. Triple H is kind of I wouldn't say giving up on him, but ever since they got JBL away from him, they really kind of made him lose a lot more.
Yeah, I don't know what the end game here is for Corbin. They put him with JBL, then they took JBL. Now what? He's just a guy. Which, I mean, he's just been a guy for a long time. But in the way that people used to always joke that the Big Show would be a heel one week and a babyface the next and flip-flop, flip-flop. Well, Corbin doesn't flip-flop heel to baby, but who's had more gimmick changes in the last 5 or 6 years than Baron Corbin? Nothing that I can think of.
I mean, well, here's the thing with Corbin. When Vince was in charge, the one thing that Vince liked about Corbin was you can have him do some of the most ridiculous stuff, and Corbin wouldn't complain about it. He would just go out there and be like, all right, I'll make the best of it.
Right. But it's they can never, to me, it feels like they can never stick with one thing with him. And they're always just like, oh, we're done with that. We'll try something different now.
Yeah.
Moving forward, we had a sit-down interview with Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio. Byron Saxton conducted it. Ripley said that she has unfinished business with Beth Phoenix, but she was focused on WrestleMania right now and didn't want to talk about Beth anymore. Saxton was going to press her on Phoenix, but Dom told him to move on, or else he'll show him what he did to the people in the prison who talk too much. Saxton asked about Charlotte Flair. Ripley said that Charlotte kept talking about 3 years ago because she knew that Ripley was the best woman in the company now. Ripley said that Charlotte's empire would come crumbling down when she became the new champion in Mania. They then mentioned the face-to-face with Ripley and Flair on Friday Night SmackDown, where then Dom goes, my dad's got a match on SmackDown. Maybe I'll tag along and join you over there. Dom also said, Dom also called him his deadbeat dad. So Sounds like Dom is going to be on SmackDown Friday along with Rhea Ripley.
It's gonna be interesting how like Dom tries to, like, set up him like wanting to fight his dad at Mania, because
Right.
it's most likely gonna happen. But the question is, like, how does it start?
Mm-hmm. You think
I
Dom
mean,
gets involved in the cross match?
maybe, but kind of sucks for Cross if you think about it. If he's
Yeah.
gonna have to have somebody else's help to beat Ray.
Right. Kathy Kelly in the back interviews Austin Theory. Theory admitted that he was banged up from the Elimination Chamber, but he was here, as always, because he is the champ. He beat 5 people, including Seth Rollins, who everyone thought would win. Yet the headline was not that he retained the title, but it was that John Cena's coming back in 2 weeks. Theory said, I don't want to talk about Cena, though. I got a match tonight, and I look forward to beating Edge in crappy Canada. So they're going forward with this. John Cena will be on Raw, not next week, but the following week. They're going hard with Austin Theory already mentioning John Cena. I think that's the match at WrestleMania. It's got to be. It's got to be.
Oh yeah. I wonder how long the match would be though, or how much they would really have Cena do in that match.
I think it would be. It's Mania, so I think he does more than he did on that SmackDown tag match, because maybe this has been in the works for a while, because I've been hearing about this for a long time. And so he worked his schedule out, because the whole thing with him only doing like 5 moves on the SmackDown match in like December 31st or whatever, December 30th. The problem with that was he had a movie coming up and couldn't do anything to possibly get hurt. So maybe he knew WrestleMania was coming, or knows WrestleMania is coming, so didn't book a movie too close, so that way he can go out and have an actual good match and not have to worry about, ooh, if I get hurt, I'm going to get in trouble and this and that. So I think because it's Mania, we're going to get a regular match with John Cena.
I mean, we all know Austin Theory is most likely gonna beat Cena.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd go that far. There's a chance. I'll say that. There's a chance Cena wins.
Well, how long would Cena even hold the belt? Like,
Hey,
probably won't hold it long.
they haven't said the belt's on the line, though. We don't know if the belt's going to be on the line. Maybe it's not a title match. It's just a singles match, non-title. I would hate that for the U.S. title in Theory and whatnot, but unless Theory beats him at Mania and then challenges him to a rematch Monday and gets the title right back, and they could always do that. Or at the Backlash pay-per-view, whatever the next one is.
Maybe Backlash would make more sense, but
Unless, here's another theory, though. Cena wins the title from Austin Theory night 1. Then says, you know what? I want to go back to the old days, and I'm going to do a John Cena U.S. title open challenge night 2 of WrestleMania. And then Cena gets challenged and drops the belt. Maybe to somebody new. Maybe I'm going to go out on a limb and say, Switchblade, Jay White.
I would say after Mania.
Wait.
Honestly, here's what I would do. So Cody beats Roman. Then on the Raw after Mania, like, he comes out, he opens up Raw, he like celebrates him winning the belt. And then out comes Jay White.
Mm-hmm.
Like, possibly like set up Cody versus Jay White down the road. I think that would be amazing.
Oh, you want Jay White just to get straight shot to the top. Okay. I see you.
I mean, I don't know if he would get the belt right away, but like maybe.
I mean, that would be
Few months after.
That would show big faith in him. And he's not going to win the title. But for WWE to be like, oh, your first feud is going to be for our main championship. That would have to mean that they see something massive in him.
They already do, honestly.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
They've been wanting him for a while.
True. But I don't see I'd see him going for like the IC or US title first. Just my opinion, though. As we move forward, we had Mustafa Ali versus Dolph Ziggler in a 2-minute match. Ali did a cool counter to the Famouser, where he basically did a headstand to block it, and then he followed it up with a crucifix pin to pick up the victory. I like the creativeness of the finish, or should I just say the whole match, because it really only went like 2 minutes. Not much really happened, but again, I did like the way he like countered the Famouser, blocked it, countered it, and then grabbed Dolph in the crucifix and pinned him. So Mustafa Ali defeats Dolph Ziggler in a 2-minute match they've been building up for like a month.
I don't really get this whole story between Ali and Ziggler.
Hey, at least they've got something for him.
True. I thought they were going to do something big with him when he was trying to go after the U.S. title.
Yeah, me too.
But that turned into nothing.
Exactly.
So,
Heather Kelly interviews The Miz backstage, who's also there with Maurice. Maurice handed him an anniversary gift in an envelope and didn't say what it was, but Miz made it seem like a very big deal and said he will reveal it next week. Kathy Kelly kept asking him about facing Seth Rollins tonight. Miz got annoyed. And she got annoyed, and then he said he was glad that his former protege, Logan Paul, screwed Seth Rollins in the Elimination Chamber. This then led to Cody Rhodes. I guess you could say Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman, even though Heyman never actually came out to the ring. So Cody said one word, and then Paul Heyman interrupted on the screen, wearing a neck brace and holding both titles.
you got a neck brace from getting one stunner.
One stunner. I mean, it just shows how, and in a good way, how much of a, well, how do you say it? A geek and a nerd and a just a shitty heel Paul Heyman is, in a good way. Like, oh, one move and I'm hurt. Like, I like it. It's like the old Bobby the Brain stuff. Rose invited Heyman to come to the ring. He's like, where are you? And he's like, I'm backstage. He's like, well, then why don't you come out here? He's like, I'm good. I don't need to get out there and be attacked again by some maniac. And they took a dig at the Canadian healthcare system. Heyman had a simple statement for Rhodes. He said, quote, you can't beat Roman Reigns. However, Heyman wanted Rhodes to imagine what his life would be if he did beat Roman Reigns. Heyman basically said that Reigns had him doing his business, but Rhodes didn't. Heyman spoke about Reigns' busy schedule as the champion and all the time he spent away from home, doing all different kinds of things, matches and promoting and this and that and whatnot. And they dragged on and dragged on and dragged on, talking about how Roman's always doing this and Roman's always doing that. And the fans booed it because they know Roman's not doing 250 days a year on the road. Heyman then mentioned Dustin, once bringing up that Dusty was never home because he was always out on the road working. He said, you want to be like that to your family? Heyman said that Reigns was a happily married man and seemed to suggest that Rhodes and his wife weren't all that happy and would be even less happy once Cody won the belt. Or maybe winning the belt is what will make them happy. Rhodes looked into the camera and told Reigns not to send Heyman again. Rhodes said that they haven't come face to face yet, but they will soon. Rhodes called Reigns the best Universal Champion in history and the best current champion in the business, but Rhodes has to finish the story. Rhodes says he has to beat Roman at WrestleMania. Now, calling Roman the best Universal Champion in history, I think there are only like 6 total, if I'm thinking correctly.
Sounds about right. So first was Finn, then it was KO, and we had Goldberg,
Mm-hmm.
Rock, Roman, then I think it went back to Brock. It's Seth. We only had like 6 different champions, though, I believe.
Yes. No. 8.
Still not saying a lot, though.
No, it's not. So technically, Finn Finn vacated the belt. Kevin Owens. Owens lost it to Goldberg. Goldberg lost it to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar lost it to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns vacated the belt. Brock won it back. Brock lost it to Rollins. Then Brock got it back from Rollins. Then Brock lost it again to Seth Rollins, where Seth Rollins lost it to Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt then lost it to Goldberg. Goldberg lost it to Braun Strowman. Strowman lost it to Bray Wyatt. And then Bray Wyatt lost it to Roman Reigns 902 days ago. So it is Finn, Goldberg, Bray, Strowman, Rollins, Owens, Lesnar, Reigns. Those are your only Universal Champions. What did you think of the promo and the Heyman stuff?
I thought this promo was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't better than their first one, though, but it was still a pretty good promo.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and I didn't mention this because I didn't write it down, because I wasn't sure if I heard it right. Did Heyman say something about Roman's gonna marry, or Roman's gonna marry your wife or something? Or did I hear that wrong?
I don't think I heard that. I mean, I can go back and check.
I must have heard that wrong, though.
He said something about his wife.
Yeah.
Though.
Well, he alluded to like that Cody and his wife aren't as happily married as Roman and his. So moving forward, we had Asuka versus Nikki Cross in a 9.5-minute match. As soon as the match started, Bianca Belair's music hit, and she came down to the ring and only sat at ringside instead of getting on commentary, which I thought was a missed opportunity. When you have someone like this, like building up a future match, why not let that person in the match talk about the match and the opponent? Like, I really would have liked to hear Bianca talking about Asuka, what she thinks of Asuka and as Asuka as a challenger during this match. But nope. As far as the match itself does go, they had a competitive match, and it probably went a lot longer than it needed to be honest. This could have been better served at like 7 minutes. I don't know why it went 9.5. I felt like it dragged at times as well. Asuka kicked the ring post after Cross ducked, and Cross follows with a reverse DDT on the apron. After a break, Asuka fought back with some strikes and 3 straight German suplexes for a 2. Cross got some more offense in, but Asuka won the match by submission with her new finisher. Again, not much happened. They dragged it out at times, and there we go. What do you think of the match?
I mean, not a whole lot happened. I mean, they're basically just trying to like make Asuka like looking pretty strong against Bianca.
So after the match, Bianca would get into the ring for a stare down with Asuka. It seemed like, these two are going to be good together. The facial expressions and all that were nice. They didn't say anything, and then all of a sudden, Asuka starts spitting up some blue stuff like, hey, I got the mist. I can spit it at you if I want to, but I'm going to wait. Bianca looked weirded out, and Asuka laughed. Kind of weird, but it's her teasing. Careful, or I'll spit in your face.
I also kind of like this segment because at first it was like, oh, it's just like a friendly rivalry. But when the mist started coming out of like Asuka's mouth, that's where like Bianca got a little scared, like, oh, I gotta take this seriously now.
Well, it was Corey Graves. He goes, I've never seen that look of concern on Bianca Belair's face ever. So Kathy Kelly asked Carmella if she knew what her game plan is to make it to WrestleMania now that she's not going to challenge for the Raw Women's Championship. Carmella's like, excuse me, what? It's been 48 hours since Elimination Chamber. Of course, I don't have a plan yet. No. I haven't been able to think about that yet, but I do want to give Asuka a receipt. I have an idea. She walks off. All of a sudden, Kathy Kelly sees Seth Rollins, so she runs to Rollins to ask him about his match tonight and Logan Paul. Now, I'm a huge Seth Rollins fan, but when Seth Rollins gets into his weird cadence, I can't take him serious. When he's just like, I'm going to find Logan Paul and hurt him. I'm like, no, come on, guy. And then all of a sudden he's like snaps out of it and he's like, no, what happened was not the I'm good and this and that, and I'm mad, and the Miz is gonna pay tonight, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know. The monotone, kind of like Joker-ish voice that he does. I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, I agree. It's like that Joker gimmick. He tries to like act all like crazy and stuff, and then like snaps out of it. And,
Right.
then he like goes straight to being serious.
So then we got the oddest segment of the night. MVP's in the back with dang Omos and says that Omos wants to challenge Brock Lesnar to a match at WrestleMania. What? Brock and Omos at WrestleMania? Are you kidding me? Like, where is this coming from? I thought that coming off of the Elimination Chamber match where it was a disqualification, you would get to Brock and Bobby again. But no. Omos wants to challenge for, not for a title or anything, but wants to challenge Brock. And they state that Brock may show up next week to accept the challenge. I'm baffled by this. And I have no earthly idea how this is going to go. Like, does Brock say yes? Does Brock say no? Typically in stuff like this, the challengee, the one that's getting challenged, typically doesn't say no most of the time. Unless like Brock shows up and goes, no, I don't want to fight you, but I want Bobby again. I don't know. What do you think?
Here's what I think could happen. Like Bobby like starts to walk out to like talk to Omos, but then like Brock. So Brock starts walking out. Bobby then comes out and just like beats the crap out of Brock and then tells MVP like, hey, if there's anybody that's gonna fight Brock at Mania, it's gonna be me. And then like he just says like, all right, he's all yours.
So that's kind of what I was thinking. But at the same time, though, why wouldn't Bobby have just said that tonight when he cut that promo on, anyone wants to disrespect me, I'll put him in their place? I would have thought that if he really wanted Brock at Mania, then why not bring up the Omos challenge and say, no. Omos ain't getting Brock. I want Brock. So, I don't know. I'm baffled. I lost for words for this. Because if this is the match they're doing for Brock at WrestleMania, what the fuck? Holy crap.
You would think Vince is booking this.
Exactly. Unless for some weird reason, Brock asked for it. It's always possible that maybe Brock asked for it. Maybe Brock sees something in Omos.
Maybe.
So we had an 11-minute match. It was Seth Rollins versus The Miz. The match itself ended with a referee stoppage. Just like the other matches tonight, the heels took the advantage, and then we went to a commercial a couple minutes in. Rollins made a comeback, but The Miz kicked his leg out, and his leg and kind of hit like a code breaker for a 2 upon return of the break. They traded counters until Miz hit the it kicks, and he got a 2 off of it. Miz hit some more it kicks, but Rollins came back with some strikes of his own and a curb stomp. Crowd then chanted one more time, so Rollins stomped him again. Crowd chanted again, and the referee told him, don't do it again, or I'm going to stop this match, and Rollins did it anyways. And I'm kind of baffled at the reason that they just stopped the match. Have they ever told Stone Cold you can't hit somebody with multiple stunners? No. The stomp is Seth's finisher. If he wants to hit The Miz with it 4, 5, 6 times to make sure he's down and out, then you got to let him hit it 4, 5, 6 times. They ain't going to tell Roman Reigns to not Superman punch or spear somebody multiple times. Weird reasoning for the referee stoppage, unless it was stopped, and I didn't really catch this, but maybe they could have. I'll admit that I didn't pay a lot of attention right here when the match got stopped, but maybe they said something that I missed on, the ref stopped it because Miz couldn't continue. Maybe that's why they did the referee stoppage, but I don't know. Wasn't a fan of the finish.
I wasn't either. I remember this kind of reminds me like in 2019 at Hell in a Cell, they did like Seth versus the Fiend in
Mhm.
that Hell in a Cell match, and then like Seth hit Bray Wyatt with the sledgehammer, and the ref just like stopped it.
Yeah.
Like that's what kind of reminded me of.
In the back, Adam Pearce is walking with Carmella, and he's talking to Carmella going, yeah, okay, you got it. You versus Asuka next week. So that match is official. Adam Pearce then gets a phone call. This is actually pretty funny. It's Chelsea Green. And she says, I want to put a complaint on your travel department. I was sent to Ottawa, Illinois, not Ottawa, Canada. Adam Pearce smirked and was holding back laughing. He claimed that he didn't know how this could have happened. She kept complaining, and eventually he's like, Chelsea, hello? I can't hear you. Maybe it's this bad Canadian cell service. I got to go. I can't hear you. Bye. I actually really liked that. That was really funny that they said that she was sent to Ottawa, Illinois, and not Ottawa, Canada. And I like how he goes, we'll figure this all out next week. We'll be back in the United States, and we won't have any issues. I thought it was
Would
funny.
Would you really say she was being a Karen in this moment? Because this is
Actually,
honestly like
no.
This is a very reasonable complaint right here.
Exactly. But they could have said, oh, well, you're the one that got on the wrong plane, didn't check your ticket, or didn't actually hear them clearly when they said, now boarding Ottawa, Illinois, now boarding Ottawa, Illinois. So they could turn it around on her next week.
I mean, it'll probably go either way.
Yeah.
I bet you they'll forget about it next week, and then yeah.
Chad Gable was practicing some modeling poses in front of a mirror with Otis. Bronson Reed then cocks up and goes, oh, is this how you prepare for a match? Gable said that he was on the verge of being getting a big modeling gig. Reed threatened to put him in a full body cast. And then Otis got in his face. Reed kind of just chuckled and laughed. Basically, he's like, I'll see you later on in our match. So then we had Ding Dong Hello. Give me 1 second. I want to look something up. So yes,
Are you trying to look up Ottawa, Illinois?
There is an Ottawa, Illinois. There's also an Ottawa, Kansas.
Yeah.
That's what someone in the chat asked if it's even a real thing. There is an Ottawa, Illinois. And I'll pull this up on the screen really quick. There is an Ottawa, Illinois. For anybody that's thinking they lied. Let's go here.
It's located 80 miles outside of downtown Chicago.
Right. Trying to pull the map up on the screen, but it's not working right. For some reason, it's not letting me pull it up on the screen. But yeah, 80 miles outside of Chicago. When you type in Ottawa, it actually comes up Ottawa, Kansas first. So, ding dong, hello. Bayley welcomes us to the show. She says it's family day in Canada, and she loves to be here with her family, Damage Control, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. She then handed the mic over to Dakota. Kai bragged about all the people that they've beaten for the Women's Tag Team Championships. This would then lead to Becky Lynch coming out on and interrupting. Becky said that it's been so long since they've defended the titles, and they were getting a little dusty. Lynch said that they weren't going to coast into WrestleMania without defending at least once. She goes, maybe you defend against me. Bayley then said that you don't have any friends to team with. Who are you going to team with? And out would come Lita. Becky and Lita would make their way into the ring. Bayley said that they didn't do anything to deserve a tag title shot. And why are these two friends? Because, well, last time they were in a ring together, I guess Bayley forgot about the cage match, but the last time they were in a ring together, they tried to beat up each other and end each other's careers or whatever. Lynch said that she and Lita were like best friends ever. That's all that they need. And I'm like, okay, kind of weird, but whatever. They argued. They then tried to snatch the titles from the champs. They actually took them off from around their waist and held the titles up. Dakota and Io really didn't want to defend the titles, and then Bayley kind of was like, "Oh, we accept." And they're like, "Wait, what?" And then like they got shoved down, and the match was made official. Kind of a weird segment, but hey, we're getting a tag title match next week. But here's my one gripe about this. I don't mind Lita getting the shot. I just really hope Lita doesn't win. I don't want them putting titles. Like, it's one thing to put a title on Brock Lesnar, who is a part-timer, but it's another thing to put a title on somebody who's basically, quote, somewhat retired.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I feel like the way this is gonna go down is Bailey's probably gonna end the match in like DQ, and then maybe Trish Stratus will come out and then I'll set up a big 6-woman match. That's like the only way I see it, because I don't think they really want Becky to get pinned
Right. But
in this match.
here's the other thing. Go for it.
So it'll probably be a good way to like keep her strong.
Now, here's the other thing we have to look out for, though. There is the reports from multiple sources that Ronda and Shayna are challenging for the women's tag titles at Mania. So, where does that kind of come into play? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so does that mean that if they do a 6-woman tag, that's going to be on a Raw and not Mania?
I would do it on Raw, then maybe like on SmackDown. Maybe they talk about how they're being like disrespected on Raw, then maybe Ronda and Shayna come out and say, "We want to fight you for the tag titles at Mania."
I can see that. So in the back, Byron Saxton was asking Candice LeRae about Johnny Gargano and how he's feeling after the Elimination Chamber. Also, got to give Johnny a shout out. I didn't realize this during the match, but his gear was freaking Bluey inspired. That's freaking awesome, because Bluey's actually pretty cool. I like Bluey. A kid's show, but it's a good show. Anyways, Candice said Johnny's going to be okay. And then also she saw Nikki Cross and she stops her. She runs her down, basically. She's like, "Hey, why have you been following me around?" And Nikki's like, "Gotta go." And she runs. And Byron's like, "What's that all about? What did she tell you?" And she's like, "Well, Nikki told me that all her friends are gone. She's all alone and lonely, but..." And never mind. Back to your question about Johnny. Johnny's going to be fine and he'll be back soon. So what's the but? Sanity?
I mean, that's either
She's
that or maybe like one of her old tag partners will be coming back to maybe gang up on Candice, and maybe they'll bring Indy Hartwell on the main roster.
I don't know, maybe she's scared that Sanity's coming. I don't know. This is weird. But I'm actually weird in a way that I'm intrigued.
I mean, I'd say Sanity is probably the only logical one that makes sense, because I mean, there is that rumor that Eric Young is coming back to WWE. I think they're probably I think for a while they were probably just waiting to see what Big Damo wanted to do.
Maybe.
So maybe it's Sanity against Candice, Johnny, and Dexter Loomis.
Think about this though. Sanity on the main roster under Triple H would be freaking awesome, because we know how much Triple H loved that group and those guys back in NXT. So I have high hopes on them using Sanity pretty dang well on the main roster under Triple H.
Oh yeah. Now here's the question though. Like, do they bring back Alexander Wolf and put him in Sanity?
That's a tough one.
Because he was also part of Imperium.
Right. But isn't he in Impact now?
Alexander Wolf?
I thought I saw that he was wrestling somewhere and like signed. Give me 1 second. I can look that up. I thought I had saw that like he signed to somewhere recently. Let's see. I could be wrong though.
I don't think he signed anywhere. I think he's just working the indies in the UK, I believe.
Let's see. Why can I not find it all of a sudden?
Magnum Lord, I think Killian Dane is working mainly kind of for progress.
Yeah. I believe so as well. Well, let's see. All right. So back on November 27th, he and Killian Dane actually teamed up together for Progress. And I want to say they won the tag titles, but I'm not. That's what I think it would have been. I heard that he won. Yeah. So a couple things here. He is the German Wrestling Federation World Champion right now, the GWF Champion. Didn't know that one. And him and Big Damo are a tag team in Progress. That's interesting. Also, he's going by the name. He's going by the name Axel Tischer.
Huh.
What were you gonna say?
There is a good chance that both of them would come back. I'm sure they both would love to come back.
As we move forward, we had Bronson Reed versus Chad Gable in a 3-minute and 15-second match that had distractions from basically Maxine Dupree. Nothing really happened in this match at all, though. They gave Gable some moments to shine. He had some super impressive looking German suplexes on Reed. He then got distracted when Otis was distracted by Maxine. And then Reed gave him a power slam and a tsunami to pick up the victory in 3 minutes. Nothing to it at all.
I don't know what it is, but I feel like fans just don't like Bronson Reed because anytime he comes out to do his entrance, the crowd is just dead.
Yeah.
And I've seen people on Twitter that people are like saying like, "Oh, this is just a generic big that just does all these generic moves. He's nothing special."
Oh, I wouldn't call him generic at all, though.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, no. Trust me. This guy got to shine big in the Elimination Chamber match.
Oh yeah.
Elias,
I think it was the Raw before Chamber though. Like that crowd was just like dead though. Like,
yeah.
There was like no like sounds from the crowd whatsoever for this guy.
Elias comes out and says he has a message for Rick Boogs. This was the time of the year when you start building up towards WrestleMania, and there's no bigger star than Elias. And then he wanted to know who wants to walk with Elias. And then he basically challenged anybody to come out and step to him, and out would come Bobby Lashley. Lashley would attack Elias, hit him with a spear, and made him tap out to the Hurt Lock. Lashley said that everyone had a plan until they get put in the Hurt Lock. Brock Lesnar panicked when he got put in the Hurt Lock, and so he hit him with a low blow because they knew he wasn't going to be able to get out of it. Lashley said that nobody can break the Hurt Lock. Not Brock Lesnar, not Bray Wyatt, not Elias, nobody in the locker room. And if anybody tries to come at him, he's going to put him in their place.
So is Elias now a heel?
I think Elias is just that kind of character where whatever we need you for this week, you're going to do. Honestly, yeah. So 5 things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things were announced for next week's Monday Night Raw. We have Miz TV, the WrestleMania Goes Hollywood edition. Brock Lesnar will respond to the WrestleMania challenge of Omos. Asuka will go one-on-one with Carmella. Candice LeRae will be taking on Piper Niven, and the Women's Tag Team Championships will be on the line with Dakota Kai and Io Sky to defend against the team of Becky Lynch and Lita. In the back, Edge was interviewed by Byron Saxton. Edge says he was happy that the Judgment Day was behind him and said that Beth was back home with the girls. Edge could now focus on his goals that he had when he first returned to WWE. Edge mentioned Theory's forever reign and said, something you learn when you get older, nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. Edge says that he couldn't wait to knock the duck face off of Theory's overly manscaped head. Edge said his second WWE match was in Ottawa in 1997, and he hasn't wrestled here in 18 years. He said it would feel pretty damn good to win the title in Ottawa and walk into WrestleMania as the United States champion. So never say never. Good little promo. I liked it.
Yeah.
Ken Patrick then mentioned that Edge beat Kurt Angle for the U.S. title back in 2001 when Austin Theory was no older than 4 years old. And then we had the match. Austin Theory, Edge, match itself goes 18 minutes. So Edge out.
Solid match.
Oh, yeah. I really like this match. So Edge out wrestled and outsmarted Theory early on and held the control throughout a commercial break. Theory hit a clothesline to take over and applied a chin lock. The crowd chanted, "Let's go Edge," as Theory would hit a comeback. Theory then hit a rolling dropkick for a 2, which led to another commercial break. Theory tried to go for the superplex, but Edge dropped him and hit a flying crossbody. Edge then followed this up with a clothesline and a flapjack, and then an Edge-O-Matic for a 2. This all then led to Edge countering a dropkick into a powerbomb for another 2 counts. Theory then leaped over a spear attempt, but Edge landed on his feet when Theory tried to go for a monkey flip. Edge applied a crossface, but Theory got to the ropes to break the hold just barely. Theory tried a cover with his feet on the middle ropes, but the referee caught him and stopped him. Theory then tried an A-Town down, but Edge reversed it into an execution for a quick near fall. Edge then set it for another spear, but stopped to fend off an intruding Finn Balor at ringside. Theory then tried to catch Edge off guard with a distraction, but Edge countered a schoolboy into a near fall. With the referee's back turned, Balor caught Edge with a kick to the head, and Theory hit the A-Town down to pick up the pinfall victory. There we go. Austin Theory does retain the championship, but with a little help from Finn Balor, who after the match attacked Edge. He would lay Edge out, hit him with the coup de grace 3 times actually, and the crowd booed as the show went off the air. And I always find it funny. It's the coup de grace, even though it's spelled Grace, yet Kevin Patrick says it literal. Oh, the coup de grace, the coup de grace. But what do you think of the match itself?
It was a good match. I mean, I kind of expected Finn to come out because this was like the only like logical way to set up Finn versus Edge at Mania. Because I mean, we all knew that match is gonna happen, but like with Edge winning against Finn, like Edge couldn't go be like, "Oh, I want to face you again at Mania." He would have been like, "Oh, I already beat you
right
at Elimination Chamber, so like why would I face you again?" So this is like the only like logical way to set up Finn versus Edge at Mania.
Yep, you screw them, and then I want them to go the Hell in a Cell route, so that way it keeps not damage control. It keeps Judgment Day out, and then you don't have to worry about them getting involved in the match. But I think a Brood Edge versus a Demon Finn inside Hell in a Cell could be really, really fun.
Oh yeah, and then for Finn, you can have like the purple and black Judgment Day colors. That would be pretty cool right there.
Yeah. So with that, guys, that's all we've got for tonight's Monday Night Raw. I want to say thank you for joining us, whether you're watching live, twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, or if you're watching and listening later on youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, if you missed any of this, you can catch it on podcast services all around the globe. As far as the polls do go, I did put them up a little late. The Twitch poll, 75% liked the show, 25% thought it was just all right. As far as the YouTube poll does go, 56% thought it was just all right, 33% liked it, and 11% didn't like Raw. No, 50 thought it was all right, 40 liked it. Oh, no, poll's still going. Poll's still moving and shaking. I'm going to give it 10 seconds, and then we're going to cut it. 10, 9, 8, 7, top of the chat, get your vote in. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So the YouTube poll, 53% liked it, 38% thought it was just all right, and 7% did not like it. So with that, guys, that's going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us. Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter at Petke_21, and you can also find me over at Twitch at the Luke Petke.
With that, guys, have a great rest of your Monday. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.